trying to sell high quality work. What use are goods that are dirty and smell of fried food? Customers will think it's been used before. What use is that, Ellen?
My work was
Mr. Aiken, I wouldn't cheek you now by disagreeing with you. I just wanted to let you know a few bits and pieces that I think a man of your standing would want to know.
Go on ahead, Ellen. Set out your stall.
Mr. Aiken, as you know, before the situation last week, myself and Flory have been working for you for 5 years now, and in all that time we've been good and true workers who haven't arrived late or we've worked early.
It's true.
And in that time, you'll know that Flory has married and had 2 weans, and still brings her work to you in a timely fashion. I know, for I call for her myself each week, and sure, we dander down here together. Even the week she gave birth, she still found time to do the embroidery.
Ellen, as you well know, I've the bones of 30 of yous from round these parts, and many's a girl's married with 3 or 4 burns, and they still manage to get their work in, well executed, clean and on time.
You're right. You're right, Mr. Aiken. But 2 weeks ago, Flory's husband Jeremiah was involved in an accident in the fields with a scythe, and is left with a lump out the side of his leg. And the doctor says there's an infection, and if he doesn't get the leg cured, there'll be no more work. And how's he supposed to support the weans if he can't use his leg? Oh, and then the situation with Flory happened on the heels of the accident with Jeremiah, and the whole house is up in a heap of calamity. And I just thought, if you knew the full story, that you'd do something. Oh, Mr. Aiken, she always does her best. And you said yourself, all your girls' work is of the highest quality.
That's true. That is true, Mr. Aiken.
And if Flory's work was of such high quality 2 weeks ago, wouldn't it be an awful shame to let her go? You know Flory's work, and sure, if you bring in somebody else, you just have to go through all that again.
It's too late, Alan. I've already spoke to a wee girl, used to be with Mrs. Ferguson out beyond Newton Arts. She says she's willing to walk here from Bangor every week, mind. And Mrs. Ferguson has only the highest regard for her work.
Well, if she's that high of a word for her, how come she's moving away from Mrs. Ferguson? You couldn't meet a better agent than Mrs. Ferguson. Excepting yourself, Mr. Aiken.
Mr. Aiken, I wouldn't let on to know what you're thinking, but I'd like to ask you to please, please think about taking Flory back on. I wouldn't come to you if I didn't think it was wild desperate. I myself, I'm godmother to wee Elizabeth. I can sure me and Flory, well, we've been chums since we were wee. So who's to speak up for her if I don't?
I've great news, Alan. This June, the largest ship in the world, the Olympic, set sail for New York. And I shall be honoured.
How'd you manage that, Mr. Aiken?
And when I get to America, I've arranged to meet buyers from all the department stores. Your work could be on sale in America. Imagine that. And in stores across the States. Will not be something. Now, I don't mean to hold out false hope, but I'm trying to arrange a small exhibition of white linen work in one of the larger New York department stores. Like our Robinson and Cleaver, only 20 times the size. Thousands of people go through its doors every week. Imagine thousands of people seeing your work. Will you do your very best work for me? Can you do that, Ellen?
Oh, you just tell me what it is I have to do, Mr. Aiken, and I'll deliver the goods. You can rely on me.
I don't mean to speak boastfully, for we all know pride comes before a fall. But if I'm successful in my endeavours in America, it could change our lives in many, many ways. The American market's the largest in the world. They cannot get enough Irish worked linen into their stores. But my head's bursting with the possibility of what could be achieved over the next couple of years. Isn't it remarkable? Here's you wanting to speak to me about something and me wanting to chat with you about this. Now, what was it you wanted me to do?
Well, I was wanting to speak to you about Flory, sir. About the fact that her husband is injured and can't work. And I was hoping you, out of the kindness of your heart, would reconsider your decision to sack Flory. For if you do, her family will be destitute. And I can't see anything else for it but the poorhouse. Oh, Mr. Aiken, I hope you appreciate that I wouldn't come to you like this if I didn't think it was a desperate, desperate predicament.
Go on.
And I thought, if I promised to look over Flory's work myself and make sure that she didn't bring anything back to you that you might feel wasn't up to scratch, that you might feel more comfortable with taking Florence back on.
You have always been a good worker, Ellen. And I admire the loyalty you show your friend. I think loyalty is very important in a friend, and particularly important in a worker. In Florence, you're a very lucky young lady to have such support from a friend. I hope you realise it.
Mr. Aiken, I would be lost without her. I would be cast out onto the street with all my worldly goods trailed out behind me.
Well, out of respect to you, Alan, and in regard to the difficult and challenging situation you find yourself, Florence, I will review my decision. But I cannot overlook the lapse in quality you showed me last week. I cannot overlook that either as an employer or a man of principle. I mean, how would that look for the other workers? How can I show you preferential treatment and allow you to present me with shabby work? Now, this is what I propose. Young lady, I will take you back off, but I will pay you a halfpenny an hour for a 6-month probationary period. If there is a lapse in quality, I will release you immediately. Now more than ever, I cannot afford to let the quality of my work become slipshod.
But Mr. Aiken, that's a whole halfpenny less. Well, do you have to lift a whole halfpenny off me?
I'll let you think on that, Florence. Now, I'm out for a smoke of my pipe.
That mean-hearted, mean-spirited, gombing man.
Are you trying to lose us both for jobs? Keep your mouth shut.
Jeremiah was right. They're all gombing men. It is nothing more than slavery, that's what it is. How am I to work for a halfpenny an hour? That's 6 pence for a day's work.
My cousin is with the agent at Andrews Mill, and they only get the halfpenny farthing per hour, not the full penny. We do all right with Mr. Aiken.
Well, Jeremiah says we really lose out. The women working up at the mill, they have Mary Galway to argue proper wages for them. But us home workers, we have nobody. I am knocking my pan in, and that rogue has taken half my wages off me. Do you think that's right?
Well, what choice do you have?
Well, Jeremiah says that I should walk to Belfast myself one of these days. Go and see Mary Galway and see if she'll talk to Mr. William Aiken. That's what Jeremiah said we should do. That'd put the fear of God in him. If he thinks the unions will be down on top of him.
If you think to threaten Mr. Aiken with the unions, you're fit for the madhouse. And you will not mention Mary Galway, for if you do, I'm leaving this room and you're on your own. I've stuck my neck out here for you, and I'll not be able to troublemaker alongside you. Your husband is sick. You have 2 wee bairns, and you will not let your mouth get the better of you. Are you in the head? You came in here to beg for your job back, and now you want to tell him how much he can pay you. Take the halfpenny an hour, and in 6 months' time, when you've proved yourself, you'll get your proper pay returned to you.
And what use is that? He'll just let me go again, and then I'll be in the same boat I am now.
Then you need to make sure he thinks you're worth keeping. Sure, the way he's talking, he'll need plenty of workers. Listen, Flora, I know you think Jeremiah is the bee's knees, but he spends too much time drinking porter and talking to other men who have too much time in their hands and think the talk of unions will put more money in their pockets. He'd be better off to spend in a good day's work.
Are you saying my Jeremiah's a layabout?
If you accept the offer, I'll help you, and I'll take over your work for you, and I'll help you out whenever I can.
Well, maybe I should be working under a different agent. Maybe I'll go and see Mrs. Ferguson myself, see if she'll take me on.
Oh, she won't take you on without a reference, and Mr. Aiken will be giving you one with this hanging over you. Watch, there he is now. Now I'm warning you, Florrie, don't you be causing trouble for me. No, it's the sorriest thing I ever did coming here to speak on your behalf.
Fine day today, girls.
Mr. Aiken, I'll just be on my way. If I can give you my work for last week.
That's fine, Alan. A dozen hankies with monograms. There you are. So that's 6 shillings for you, Alan. Lovely work. Clean. Fresh. Good. Now, I'll get your parcel for next week. And I'd like you to embroider this wee christening gown for me for that exhibition I was telling you about.
Yes, Mr. Aiken.
Mr. Aiken.
Yes, Florence?
Mr. Aiken, sir. Would you mind if I took a parcel of work to do for next week?
You can, surely, Florence. But mind you, keep it clean. Only your best work. The Yanks will pay, but only for the best. We live in great times, girls. We stand on the edge of the greatest time in history. The largest ship in the world, the Olympic, set sail this June, and I shall be on her. The whole world's on the move, on ships built in Belfast. No other city can take its place. Irish linen, best in the world. We are part of history. And I expect my endeavours in America to lead to a very bright future for all of us. I hope you two girls are aware of this marvellous opportunity.
Oh, we are surely, Mr. Ekin. Aren't we, Florrie?
We are. Thank you very much, sir.
Well, all about your business, Perry.
See you next week, Mr. Eakin.
See you next week, Mr. Ekin.